Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Tim from the Calm Compound and it's time for our daily analysis of the market. So let's dive right in, shall we? We've got in front of us the Bitcoin US dollar 1-day chart, and there's finally a little bit of life back in the market. We see some clarity and let's talk about it. So we are still within range of, let's say, 18,500 and the 20,750 to maybe 20,500, which is not that strange. However, we have a nice, very nice engulfing candle right here, which means that the green candle is larger than the previous red candle at the end of a downturn, even though it was a small one. That is an engulfing candle, generally a very good sign, especially on heightened volume, although this candle was in a weekend, so that's a bit iffy regarding comparing the volume, but we see that over the previous days this is decent. Today we see a good attempt to confirm, we see some further growth, however we still can't quite reach this resistance level right here near that 20,500, and that is definitely a shame. So we see a further cemented resistance over here. I'm gonna make it a dashed line to not confuse anyone. We see a more and more cemented resistance over here around, let's say, the 20,100. We would want to see a good and proper close above that today. So let's say at least 20,200 in order to make any serious attempt at taking 20,500 to 750 over the coming couple of days. That would be what we are looking at. Also, if we zoom out a little bit rather than zooming in, we see a lower low right here. But if we grab our trusty RSIs, then we see here. Again, let me make that a little clearer by making it a bit bigger, different color. Let's say I like pink. There we go. Lower low. And if we grab the RSI here, we see a clear divergence as well as over here. However, that is a bit overkill. It's not quite as great. Regardless, we see a divergence, which means that the bears here were a bit too greedy and that an imminent move upwards is likely, which means that we might even see a move here towards that 24,000-25,000, which would be great. However, if you look at this timeline, if you look at these candles, then this would be near the end of November, possibly the end of the year. So this move could take quite a while unless something exciting suddenly happens in the market and we find some movement, we find some steam. And if we now zoom in, that was a bit too quick, but that's fine. There we go, close this. If we now zoom into the 4 hours, we see that there's a very, very steep move upwards. This can return to its usual color. A steep move upwards. The steeper the move is, generally speaking, the sooner it will break, because a steep incline takes a lot of energy out of the market. So for now we see that the resistance has been reached and we are waiting for it to either breach or for the uptrend to break. If we do see a proper breach and a break of the resistance, we might just trade in between the 20,100 and the 20,750 for a little bit before breaking out, because this has been a very important resistance and level in general of the past weeks and months. But if we make a good clean break, a confirmation, then we could maybe enter a couple of trades on the retest. That is what we're currently looking at. We also have a couple of trades open, so we might even close a couple around here and a bit more around 23,000, maybe 24,000 if we manage to reach that. That is a big if, so everyone, knock on wood. Let's hope I don't jinx it. Didn't Let's hope I don't jinx anything or didn't jinx it. That is Bitcoin at the moment, kind of what I'm looking at. Let's quickly get my favorite EMAs. We do see a clear break of the 200 EMA. We see somewhat of a confirmation, bit of a long topping tail, but for now it seems to be defended fairly well, which is a good sign to start with. We also see a heightening volume, which shows that there is definite interest right here. There's a big battle being fought. So I'm curious to see where we will close the day, preferably above this line right here. So let's have a look at some other things in the market. Matic doing great, very happy with how that's going, slowly moving up. We do see a similarly steep incline on the 4-hour, which might spell a bit of a reversal over the coming hours. Might be, depends again on how we close today. I would like to see some sideways consolidation, if anything, rather than downwards. So if we have a resistance at around this level here between like the 85 cents and the 84 cents, I would prefer to see it go sideways and break rather than go downwards. Mainly because that is just my favorite way of breaking things, and I find that to be very trustworthy, rather than the pullback and potentially tapping out. Although a good retest of the 200 EMA would not be unwelcome either. That is just my preferred style of trading. Let's have a look at AVAX. Here AVAX managed to break its 50 EMA and hold it well. Still got rejected at the 100 EMA, which is not necessarily a problem, as long as you can see it starts to trade sideways a little bit. There are wicks both ways, so there's still a big fight happening in the market here. It needs some time to breathe and to relax, which is perfectly fine. We should definitely give it that space. On the daily, it doesn't look quite as great. I would like to see it close a little nearer to the high to avoid accidentally making a topping tail and dropping back down. That would be a shame. That was that. Let's have a look at Solana. What are we doing over here? We still have the beautiful arrows that I drew yesterday, so let's get those out of the way. Start every day fresh. If you have to rechart everything every day, you learn faster, which definitely helps with your development. Regardless, Solana seems to be doing all right. We also have this beautiful engulfing candle here. We kind of have a similar situation in most of the market where everything's kind of trying to push against the resistances. So here as well, we want to see a good break through it. And then yeah, probably wouldn't close it for a while yet because we started the position at 32. Oh, that's 53, 32.50. Let's zoom in a little bit. And there we go. It's, yeah, it's 5%, 4-5%. It's decent, but if we do break through, there is of course a decent chance to break further towards the upside. There's something of resistance here, 12%, and yeah, between 12 and 20% might be a decent place to look to get out because we have a big resistance over here around 40. That is something we have to keep in mind. Let's have a look at ETH BTC. That is what I like to ETH BTC. Sorry, I do like puns. That was horrible though. We have the downward trend line here. We see that ETH BTC has a bit of trouble to break it, which is great because we want this order to be filled right here and then the ones subsequently after, of course, but that might take a while yet. This is also a good indication that Bitcoin is still firmly in the lead for this move and that does not look to change anytime soon. Right, so 0.65 approximately is what we're looking at. We might see that over the coming few days if this could continue and if we can keep making lower lows. for which we need either strength in Bitcoin or weakness in Ethereum. Let's have a look at Ethereum as well. And Ethereum has a similar conundrum where we have a bit of a minor resistance here around 1360 to 1340, which it is occupying right now, trying to break through and seeing if we can get back to that 1425 or even just the 1390-ish. We've been there a couple of days ago, but for now, not quite there yet. So this is a decent start. Preferably, we would see a bit of a push up in the market over the coming few hours. That would be perfect. That would be great if we could break a couple of resistances. But so far, the market has been fairly lively in comparison to the days before, so we cannot ask too much and just be happy with what we've got for the moment. That is just what we're looking at. If we do get rejected and we end up, for instance, closing under these newfound supports, of course they have to be tested still yet, then we might still move back down to range lows. So don't get ecstatic too much or too ecstatic just yet. There is still, of course, the possibility of downside in the coming 5.5 to 6 hours. So be aware of that. Also, Ethereum volume seems to be dropping a little bit. Of course, we do still have 6 hours, but these are not the most liquid hours. The majority of the trading has already been done. Keep that in mind. And then there's a last one that I want to check for right now, which is, DYDX. Same thing. And let's have a quick look at Theta then instead. That is also not credible. This is a bit of a busier chart than I would usually show you, but you can see that Theta has a very nice range at the moment, and that between the 1.3 and the 1.03 I should say, and 1.07, 07-ish, you would have a decent bet for a trade, I'd say. Some decent risk reward. You could maybe let it move up all the way to 1.4. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Well, there we go. You could layer the trade a little bit like this. It is also making a downward wedge, which is one of my favorite trading patterns, which gave a perfect entry and a perfect confluence right around there. So you could maybe have a look. If that drops by again and holds, we might see a move up to 115 or maybe 125, depending of course on what the rest of the market does. Those are the most important points for right now. Of course, there's a lot of bigger cap coins that we could go through, but we'll expand our list a little bit over the coming days. So hopefully this was useful. Hopefully you have a bit of an idea of what is to come in the short term as well as in the long term. So I want to thank you again for your attention and for watching this, and I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, bye bye. Hi YouTube, thank you for listening. If that was interesting or if you enjoyed that, we do these every day for the premium members of our Discord. So if you're interested, there will be a link below for the free section where you can ask questions and have a look at what we do. There's also an abundance of signals and pointers that we give to the community. So feel free to drop by, or if you just want to see a little bit more about what we do and who we are, there's also a link to all of our socials and everything else. We really just do this for the love of it and because we want to help people get started and on their way in this crazy, wacky world of cryptocurrency. So, thank you very much again for watching and for being here, and I will see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll see you soon in Discord to have a proper, real chat with one another. Alright, enjoy your day or evening or whatever time it is over there right now. Bye bye!